Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avernum 2. Last episode, not much to say. We showed up in the fort, we walked around it and explored, and we got our quest to go take care of a Nephilim fort not far away. And also a side quest to find out what would happen to a shipment of arrows if we stumble across it. So, let's step out of the fort and see exactly where we are. Chapter 1, The Barriers. You step out of Fort Ganrick and into a small section of northeastern Avernum. This region has been cut off from the rest of your land by the magical barriers. Nobody is sure who created the barriers, and people are even less sure about how to remove them. If nothing is done about them, Avernum's chances of survival will be greatly reduced. For now, your orders are to deal with a colony of rogue goblins and Nephilim to the east. In the meantime, you hope you find a way to remove the barriers. It seems unlikely, but at this point, hope is all that Avernum has. I suppose that makes a bit of sense. You find scatterings of ruined mining equipment, carved totems, and bones. The debris is littered throughout the passage to the east. You must be getting near the land of the Nephilim tribe. You are almost to the new Nephil settlement. They've left a small group of guards outside. They're goblins, small, frail, craven creatures, about 8 of them. They see you immediately. They're a few hundred feet away. Your thrall relieves them to no end. Must not have much initiative. We'll take a look later. I want to take a look to the west first. You step out into a huge cavern, crisscrossed with rows of large, bloated, carefully tended mushrooms. The air is warm, moist, and scented with just a hint of sulfur. Not unusual for Avernum. The massive cavern is lovely in an austere sort of way. You can see clearly in the green light cast by the glowing lichen on the ceiling. The lichen was created by the Tower of Magi years ago, using strange magics. It makes life in Avernum possible. To the southwest you can see Fort Draco, the largest settlement in the area. Farther to the west you might be able to see the strange magic barriers which have everyone so concerned. Ah, Fort Draco. Well, that gives us a good reference point for where we are. I mean, considering what we remember, yeah, this is pretty much in the north, so just to the east are probably the caves of Mortax, and Formello to the south of that. Okay, so now we know where we are. Yeah, Fort Ganrick 14 miles north, Cave of Mortax 50 miles east. That's 14 miles? Jeez. There's a group of heavily armed humans approaching you. Their armor is worn and they look exhausted. They are clearly moving to intercept you. Approach and talk to them. You soon are close enough to see that they are soldiers of Avernum patrolling the roads around Fort Draco. They have been worn down by constant skirmishes with goblins and bandits. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, they warn you to be careful and watch for foes. Then they depart. You feel worried. If all of Avernum's soldiers are this wearied, the state is in great danger. This is a fairly successful farming area. Long, orderly rows of mushrooms surround you. Crude stone homes are visible among the hills and stalagmites of the cave floor. Alright, we'll take a look around there more later. I just wanted... There we are. You see a group of giant lizards. Brands mark them as one of the local farm's property, raised as beasts of burden or for food. They are violent, irritable beasts, stupid and most unsuitable for domestication. Their teeth have been, as usual, filed down, though their claws look sharp. Some farmers are probably missing their stock. Attempt to round them up? A tiring hour of chasing, much shouting and hissing, and a number of nasty scratches later, the lizards clearly communicate their desire to continue on their way. Regretfully, you allow them to go. Alright, let's take a look inside Fort Draco, why not? Much shorter announcement as we go into places this time. And suddenly rats. Very strong rats. Surprisingly strong. Jeez. Alright, you need to cast a spell, please. Did not expect rats that were so strong. Oh boy. Heal Rex again, please. Jeez. I imagine part of it is due to the fact that he doesn't have a shield. Alright, another fireball. There we go. Okay, this could prove to be a bit more complicated than I thought. Ooh, also we automatically pick up coins when we try to pick them up, which is nice. It's nice. Take a look around the outside, because that's how I do things. There's someone out here. That's interesting. You open the trapdoor and find a shaft underneath it. There's a ladder you can climb down. Later. Not now. Now who are you? There is a small woman with curly hair sitting behind the counter. She watches you silently. You ask her name. I'm Cheryl, she says in a quiet voice. Counter? This is a room with a fire pit. Where's the counter? What are you doing? Just sitting. Maybe with some things you could buy. But things that are perfectly legal to sell. And you can sell me things too. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing illegal going on here. She's intensely nervous. So I can't buy anything illegal from you then? There's nothing illegal here. Nope. She's shaking a little. And the ore piles back there, they're my property. I can prove it, so stay away. Can't I just take a peek at your entirely legal pile of ore? The corner of her mouth begins to twitch. Just stay away from them. Don't go behind my shop, please, okay? Somehow, despite her pleading, she doesn't seem entirely sincere. Let me take a look at your entirely legal wares. And sell that, and that. Just for selling. Lockpicks! Cheryl is a very nervous woman who seems to concentrate on goods which are not entirely legal. Still, her supplies are very useful to adventurers on long expeditions. Yeah, a couple of sets of lockpicks should be good. That's all we really need. And a quick run around. And now we can go inside, I think. You enter Fort Draco. This is the northernmost outpost of Avernum. Soldiers here spent several long years holding off assaults by hostile Nephilim and the occasional ravenous spider. But as your burning nose and watering eyes constantly inform you, Fort Draco isn't just for defense. This area contains all of Avernum's most productive sources of iron ore. The ore is brought here to be smelted. This makes Fort Draco both incredibly important to the health of Avernum and a very unpleasant place to visit. Everything here is covered in a thick layer of soot. The people walking by look extremely worried. Their conversation seems centered on one topic, the huge magical barriers which have cut this area off from the rest of Avernum. You don't know much about these barriers yet. Perhaps asking around would give more information. Why not? We'll find out what we can, learn what we can, and all that kind of crap. Just gonna uncover all the area around outside first. A middle-aged man is reclining against one of the statues, looking out over the water. He wears the robes of an apprentice mage. He greets you. Welcome, travelers. I'm Anford, commander of Fort Draco. Are you an apprentice mage? Yes and no. I am the commander of Fort Draco. I'm also a mage, but that isn't as important. My duty is to this fort, first and foremost. Which came first, your apprenticeship or your command? I've been an apprentice mage for 5 years. In the Slith Wars, I got assigned to this fort, and they found I had a knack for tactics. I never returned to the Tower of Magi. Alright then. The commander stares out over the river, lost in planning. The green light from the fungus above shines eerily on the river. Why are you standing out here? This is where I do my thinking about the fort. My office, so to speak. Normally I'd be planning tactics, defenses, that sort of thing. Not lately. We fought off a bunch of Empire assaults and they've left us alone lately, so that's not on my mind. We have a different threat now. I'm mainly thinking about the barrier. What do you know about the barrier? The barriers appeared a week ago. Magic barriers, outdoors, huge, of a sort we've never seen before, cutting off this area from the rest of Avernum. We can't break them down, we can't touch them. It's a disaster. They've cut Avernum into pieces. Yeah, I can imagine. How have you been contacting the rest of Avernum, though, if the barriers have cut Avernum into pieces? That's what I'd like to know. What can you tell us about the magical barriers? They have completely cut off this corner of Avernum. Who made them? We have no idea. How can they be brought down? Again, no idea. Perhaps they have a better idea of what to do about them in Vermello. There are mages in Vermello, and powerful priests, too. If anyone wanted to do something about the barriers, Vermello is a place to begin the search for answers. You're the commander, eh? Any jobs we can do for you? I'm glad you asked. There have been some brigands ambushing caravans near the fort. Very near. I think they're based very close to the fort. Find them and eliminate their leader, and I would appreciate it. Gladly. An easy job. Oop. Alright. Hey, boats! Can't board this boat, it's not yours. Of course it's not. So, no good with the boats. And this looks like the boat works here. This open building has several broad, flat-bottomed boats in various stages of construction. They are simple and stable, ideal for navigating the subterranean rivers of Avernum. I can imagine. You meet an energetic, long-haired woman. Her belt is laden with tools of various sorts. She holds a ruler and a scroll, and her jerkin is covered with a light layer of sawdust. "I'm Tess, the shipwright of Fort Draco. Pleased to meet ya." "What are you making?" "What do you think? I make boats. Want to purchase one? Only 300 gold. Highest quality." "How do you make a boat?" "I carve 'em out of the cave wood myself, by hand. They're small, but they'll get you south just fine. Safest way to travel." "Why is water travel safer than travel by land?" "The Empire don't got many boats down here. Don't have the know-how. So one thing we got over 'em. People like me." Okay then. Well, we don't need a boat. We can't even afford it right now. Pick the lock, and we get in. Anything here we need? Robe, shirt, and nothing in there that we need. Alright. Don't mind us. Yeah, Fort Draco boat works. That's basically a guard post. Ah, this must be the inn. There's a large, filthy, dirty man sitting at the bar, swilling mushroom ale. You sit by him and ask his name. "Harg." "May I talk with you?" "Let a man drink in peace." "Just trying to make conversation." "You heard me, I'm drinking here. Go away." "Oh, well, you seem to be in a very bad mood." He belches bitterly. "You would be too. I am thwarted in love. The picture of all feminine beauty? Her name is Rose. She lives in Vermello. I wish I had the nerve to propose to her, but I don't. So I drink to minimize my sorrow." He takes another swig. "A pity. And somehow we have a quest." "Okay then." The bar is tended by a handsome man with a somewhat deranged demeanor. He fights a constant and futile battle to keep the counter free of soot. He's pleased to see you. "Welcome to my inn. My name is Crisper." "What is on the menu today?" "All drinks are a gold. It doesn't matter what you order because it all tastes the same. Soot, you know. You can sleep in the common room for 5 gold. And you can even buy rations. Feel free to stay and rest for a while. Just never mind me. Takes all my time keeping this place clean." "So what makes cleaning so tough here?" He twitches. Let me tell you about all the ashes. I never knew when I bought this place there would be so many ashes. A ton a day, piles and piles of them all over. And smoke too. And it isn't just that." He twitches alarmingly. "It's the spiders. I have to clear away their webs. The noises they make, all of them." "What's so difficult about a bunch of spiders?" He twitches. "They're what did this to me. It was the happy spiders. I can't get them out of my brain. I hear them speaking to me sometimes. A whole bunch of them live in a cave to the west. Some of them came around not that long ago, looking for someone to help them. I've always hated spiders, and having them like me only makes it worse." He's ranting. You get nervous. "Ah, yes, the gifts. I guess we'll be finding them soon enough." "So, barkeep, heard anything about the magic barriers outdoors?" "Only that they're a disaster, completely cutting us off from all of Avernum. If you want real information, talk to Commander Anford. You can find him near the docks." Message received. Storeroom of sorts, it looks like. Nothing we need in that. Oh. Huh. We can actually climb down into the area under the fort. This is interesting. We're definitely going to be taking a look at that, then. See what's under the fort and such. I'm guessing these are the shops. Yep, the foundry. This is the Fort Draco foundry. It's small, hot, and very busy. To the north is a broad, shallow pool of molten metal. It runs off into thin troughs where the metal solidifies into ingots. How the metal is kept so hot is unclear. Probably magic. I suppose. A tall, thin woman heaves sacks of ore over to the smelter. The muscles of her arms show like steel cables through her pale skin. She gives you a brief nod. "Welcome, strangers. I'm Della." "May I ask what you are doing?" "I help keep the foundry going. Well, I can." What's wrong with the foundry? Those cursed Nephilim have cut us off from our fine ore, but we've got plenty stored up, so we'll be making steel for a while. Where are these Nephilim? Up north. They took all our mines from us. Hope we get back at them soon. Avernum needs Draco weapons. She grabs another sack of ore and hauls it over to the smelter. Della watches you. She seems to be glad to take a break from work. Can we buy any ore or metal from you? She shakes her head. Sorry, as long as the barriers outdoors are up, we can't spare an ounce of precious metals or supplies. Fair enough. A short, stout woman is taking notes on a sheet of lichen parchment. She, like everything and everyone else around here, is covered with a thick layer of soot. She slaps you on the shoulder in greeting. You think she sprained something. Hi, I'm Kelia. What are you up to? I'm the forewoman around here. We can't talk long. We have a load of ingots due in Formello. Where's Formello? Biggest city up here. It's some ways to the southeast. Avernum has a large barracks there. Our next load of steel has to go there anyway, what with the barrier and all. Barrier? Yeah, the barrier that just appeared. Blocks the roads and passages. We can't send stuff anywhere far away. It's a bad, bad thing for the rest of Avernum. Lots of fortresses count on us for the weapons. Kelia waits to see what else you have to say. At the same time, she watches to make sure the smelter continues to work properly. Any shortages, what with the war and the barrier and all? Oh, the barriers have been a disaster. We can't get much ore. That means we can't fill our orders. You know something? You could help. If you find any iron bars, bring them here. I'll pay well. We really need the metal. Alright, one of those things. Boutel's Forge. Quality work to order. Ah, Boutel. I believe you helped us reforge Demon Slayer in the last one. You're greeted by an enormous, heavily muscled man, stripped to the waist. Somehow his ruddy glow manages to shine through the paleness caused by his years living in these caves. He grabs your hand. I'm Boutel, Master Blacksmith of the Caves. What do you do here? I work steel. Only person down here who does. If you want a good weapon, you can buy it here. I also do repair work. Can't believe you managed to make steel down here. Fort Draco is the only city on all of Avernum that can make steel. It's rare and expensive stuff, and the devil to make. But they're the best weapons we have. Draco blades will show the Empire a thing or two. His boasting seems justified. All of the weapons you see here are of extremely high quality. What kind of repairs can you do? Well, I don't mean to brag, but the mighty Demon Slayer itself was reforged by my hand. This seems implausible, but you let it slide. I can repair any blade you need worked. What is this Demon Slayer? A powerful weapon, one of the greatest ever, and we own it. It cuts through demons as if they weren't there. I think it's in the castle now for safekeeping. And to think that I repaired it. Who discovered the pieces of Demon Slayer? Why, the great heroes, of course! The great heroes who found Demon Slayer and slew the demon Grauhoth, who threatened all of Avernum. I met the great heroes, honest I did, and it was one of the great honors of my life. What happened to the great heroes? Why, nobody knows. Nobody has heard of them for 4 years. Some say that they retired and live quiet, anonymous lives. Others think that they escaped to the surface. And some think that they fight on still, waging a secret war against the Empire. They were amazing, though. Tall and strong, pale like all Ammonites, carrying only the highest quality armor and weapons. Truly, we will never see their like again. And that's what happened to our last party. Pretty much disappeared off the face of the Avernum. Nobody knows what happened to them. Oh well. What kind of repairs can you do? Oh wait, we did ask that, if we need any repairs. What sort of weapons can you sell us? Sadly, all of our best weapons have to go to the army, to help defend us against the Empire. Fortunately, I have some other blades I can spare for you. Not my best, but they will help you survive. And nothing we need, but thank you, we'll keep it in mind. Actually, an iron spear would be nice. Nah, I think we're good. We don't need to buy anything right now. Take a look out here now. The Draco School of Military Arts. We'll take a look in there in a minute. Orson's Fine Weaponry. We have metal! There's an aging and graying man pacing around his tables of goods. He is sharpening an arrowhead. His skin is like parchment, bleached white. When he looks up at you. Ah, a customer! He brushes soot off the counter with his hand. I am Orson. What do you sell here? I've run this fine little weapons shop. He waves at his stock. Not bad despite the barrier. Really messed with my stock. What do you know about these barriers? Not much, I'm afraid. I won't be able to get much new stock with those barriers up, but I still have a lot here. I just hope they get the things down soon. Alright. Orson, wrinkled and grumbling, continues to wait on you, very pleased to have a customer. I'd like to buy something. Ooh, stone pike. More expensive, but more damage. Very nice. Nothing we really need, though, truthfully. I mean, it's nice stuff, but still.